Hi, welcome to my sporting show, Kavindu Sports, Cover the Sport in Times. Before start the show, I want to hit the like button and subscribe to my show. Today on the show, we're going to do a Sri Lankan team special. So we're going to do that. So now let's get started. Sri Lanka managed to win the T20 series 2-1 against India, which is a very important win because this is the first ever bilateral series win in 13 years of Sri Lanka against India. So since 2008. So it's important victory for the young Sri Lankan side and for the young captain as we are talking. However, let's summarize the series in general. India won the ODI series 2-1 and the Sri Lanka win the T20 series 2-1. You see a pattern? It's like both the teams got what they want. Both the teams won their respective series. Now, I have been in social networks, YouTube, comment sections, where the Indian fans in recent times said that India only played with 5 batsmen, more bowlers, things like that, the common excuses. This is the point about this. In the ODI series, during the second ODI, now if you all watch the second ODI, Sri Lanka was this close to win. They won mainly because of Deepak Chahar's half century. They managed to win, chasing down 270 plus total. So if Deepak Chahar did not score, that brilliant Indian team could have still lost the game. That's the point. Subtle things can make the difference. But it was a much more even playing field. If you're not playing Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli or the big names, then both the teams are equal in terms of skill and talent and mindset, really. That's the point, and that should be understood by now. Because most of these youngsters who played for India are IPL specialists. What they don't know is that IPL cricket is not that standard compared to international cricket. It's different cricket standards. In IPL, pitches are different. It's not so competitive. In international cricket, home teams make their pitches to suit them, not the opposition. Think about that. And of course, let's talk about some key performances during the ODI series. Now, you must admit that the Sri Lankan team did had good performances actually. It was a pretty consistent run of form. The score lines were 263, 275, and 227 for 7 even in this third ODI. So score lines are pretty good. Many youngsters scored like Avishka Fernando, youngsters like them all came into form in the series. And with the ball, Vanidhu Hasaranga bowled magnificently well, and especially Dushmantha Chamira with his extreme pace bowled really, really well. Then let's think about the T20 series. Dhananjay De Silva and many more youngsters once again came for the forefront with the bat. Of course, you might ask the question, India won the first T20. So what? That pitch was actually one of the better batting pitches than India won. That's how the game works. We couldn't quite chase it down. But in that run chase, we crumbled. We could have chased that 160 plus down actually. We didn't. We failed on that chase. But we learned from the mistakes and we came back to winning. And that's how the Sri Lankans win the series. In the second T20 and the third T20. In the second T20, they were chasing 132 runs. They were chasing 120 to 130. And Sri Lanka took a long time to get there, but they got there. They lost some wickets on the way, but thanks to Dhananjay De Silva's knock of 40, Sri Lanka got home in the second T20. Then the bowlers, Vanidhu Hasaranga, Dushmantha Chamira, and the following up backup bowlers delivered the job with the ball perfectly, restricting India to less than 140 in that match. Then the third T20 comes along, where India, of course, lose more players because of the COVID-19 situation. Sorry, India, it happens. This is the pandemic timeline. Sometimes you might play with more batsmen and less bowlers sometimes. So live with it. India get themselves bowled out to just 82, I presume, to 82 to 83 runs. And Sri Lanka win the game fairly easily. In the Indian first innings, no Indian youngster had the chops to play international cricket. At least in that game I saw. They all lacked the experience to handle the situation right. They couldn't play spin very well. And also, the toss. Why did Shikhar Dhawan once again decided to bat first? Again, what was the reason? If your batting is short, then why would you do that? What was the point? If you're not, why would you do that? Again, maybe it's a question of overconfidence and arrogance. Might be, could be both. But maybe it's his ego. Who knows? The reality is, don't follow your ego or don't follow your overconfidence if you're playing on a slow pitch. Just do not, Shikhar Dhawan, don't do that. But Sri Lanka batted well in the chase. Sometimes I think they were overcautious in the run chase. But they get there. They won the game. They chased the score down once again, thanks to many of the youngsters in the top order, all delivered to get Sri Lanka home. Of course, that should be said. Now, of course, you might ask in terms of bowling, Manidhu Hasaranga picked up 4 for 9, the best figures in T20 cricket for a very, very long time. Manidhu Hasaranga 4 for 9. Dushman Chamira ran in quick, hostile, aggressive, bowled beautifully with his pace. Then the all-rounders delivered the job and completed the task. Now, let's talk about leadership. Shikhar Dhawan led India from the front. I didn't think he did that. I think he's overrated as a captain. If you think about this, he won the ODI series. That's because first ODI was a flat surface, second time Deepak Chahar, third time the reality came down. Shikhar Dhawan did not score runs to lead from the front. An Indian team that if they complain they have only 5 batsmen, well, your captain have to score. If your captain don't score, you can't win. That's reality. In the Sri Lankan side, Dasun Chanaka did not come into the runs with the bat, but he did lead from the front with the ball, which he did. Picked up wickets, bowled in crucial stages of the match, of all the games, and kept Sri Lanka in the game. So Dasun Chanaka led from the front with his captaincy and with his bowling. Yes, he didn't score runs, but if you're an all-rounder, if you bowl, bat, and field, at least one of the 3 attributes you do well, or 2 out of 3, it works very well. And also, I do find his captaincy extremely refreshing, very much of an inspirational leader. There's no question about this. The ability to guide this young team to beat India is not easy. And I believe that Dasun Chanaka does have a future as captain in this team. But I do hope the selectors do keep faith in him as captain and they will not just drop him. That's my general fact, to be fairly honest. So, let's talk, before I end the video, let's talk about the T20 series between England and West Indies as well. West Indies and Pakistan, sorry. Well, Pakistan wins the second T20 against the West Indies actually in a close humdinger really. They win by 6 to 7 runs really. It was a very, very close game. West Indies did not start quickly. They played too many dot balls. They had too much to catch up. But one thing is clear with West Indies. They can win. West Indies are still my favorites. My favorites to win the World T20. Not India. I want to be clear about that. The Indian team somehow lacks the confidence to go to a tournament and actually win. They might rank number 1 in rankings, but they don't have the chops to actually win a tournament. Because Indian team lacks the oomph. That's what makes a great team. The great Australian side, the great West Indian teams. That's what India lack. The West Indies team performs so badly before a World T20. But when they go to a World T20, they perform brilliantly. That's the difference between the two teams in terms of favorites. In short, Pakistan lead the series 1-1. The third ODI was washed out for rain, so there is no chance West Indies to win the series, but Pakistan does. So let's hope West Indies win the fourth T20 and square the series 1-1. So on that note, thank you very much for joining me on this show. Hit the like button and subscribe to my show. Thank you very much.